Good morning and welcome back to the Coop Scoop. I'm Chris Granata.
And I'm Casey Nyman. Thanks for tuning in to this very special Halloween episode.
Halloween at the University of Delaware is always a big event with many students dressing up for Halloween. If you haven't nailed down your costume this year, luckily we have a few ideas for you. Coop Scoop reporter Laura Murphy went around campus to find out what students will be wearing this year.
'Tis the season of Halloween here at the University of Delaware, and for most, this holiday is not a one-day event. Across all college campuses, Halloween is a multi-day celebration with a requirement of multiple Halloween costumes.
I have 4 Halloween costumes.
This year I only have 3, which is different. Usually I have like 6.
Oh boy, 3.
I have 3, maybe a 4th Halloween costume this year.
For some, planning Halloween costumes starts a few weeks before, but for others, ideas and plans are started on November 1st for the next year. Luckily, with the rise of social media, students can obtain inspiration from popular outlets like Pinterest or TikTok.
Most of the inspiration came from Pinterest, some of it from what I've wanted to do in past years, which also probably came from Pinterest.
I'm not creative at all, even though I'm a marketing major, so TikTok and Instagram and my friends came up with most of them actually.
Probably Pinterest and TikTok.
While this may lead to unintentional costume coordination with strangers at the bar, most find that to be a small price to pay when expected to have 12 to 16 costumes in only 4 short years of college.
But how are college students finding ways to afford 3 to 4 costumes per year?
I piece them together myself from clothes I have, clothes I bought from Shein, clothes I bought from Amazon.
Shein?
I ordered some pieces from Amazon. I have some pieces that I have already in my closet, and the rest of the pieces I ordered from Shein.
From Shein.
Shein is an online shopping site that is known for their extremely low-priced clothes. From accessories to clothing to full-on costumes, Shein will have what you need. It may not be the most ethical form of shopping, but students find it hard to turn down their unbeatable prices. So, what will you be wearing this Halloween season? With the Coop Scoop, this is Lauren Murphy.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren, for those great ideas. I was kind of wondering what I was going to be, but do you know what you're going to be yet, Chris?
So I'm going to be Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Gotta go back old, that type of vibe.
I really wish we could go trick-or-treating.
Yeah?
Like,
I mean, you still can.
Yeah, I want
Why
the
not?
candy. I don't know.
What about you? What are you going to be?
I think I'm going to be Goldilocks.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
3 little bears, yeah. But, okay, since we don't have candy, luckily we've got 3 drinks from a local Main Street coffee shop. These are from Little Goat Cafe, so yeah.
Yeah, so in front of us we have the Coco Loco, the Autumn Harvest, and the Campfire. So just get started on the Coco Loco?
Yeah, so this is espresso mixed with condensed coconut milk and then spices. So let's see what it's like.
Let's get it. It's too sweet. Too sweet.
Too sweet for
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like darker and more bitter. I like
sweet.
it.
No, that's not my vibe.
It tastes like candy. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go for the second one. Autumn Harvest.
Yeah, so same thing. This is espresso mixed with, I think, milk and spices. Maple, I think, was in this one.
All right, now we're talking. Yeah, this is the one. I like that one. Way better than the first one, by far.
Okay, to each their own. It's a little, it's not giving Halloween to me. Autumn, maybe.
Okay.
It needs a little bit something else there, but I like it.
Let's try the third one, the Campfire.
Yeah, so this one has burnt brown sugar, I think, smoked salt, chocolate, and espresso with milk. You know, a campfire moment. I'm excited for this one. Ooh, now that's gonna do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good in
I
between.
think I take it back.
I like that.
Campfire
I like
might be
that.
the one.
Yeah.
Campfire might be the one.
We need a little cozy night after this. All right, well, heading back to some news on campus. If you've ever seen a shadowy figure or felt a spooky breeze on or around campus, you're not alone. Many people believe that there are lots of haunted places on campus. My fellow Coop Scoop reporter and I, Jules Ferreira, went to explore these mysterious spots to see for ourselves. Welcome back, Coop Scoop. I'm Casey Nyman, and today I'll be your tour guide. As we already know, UD's campus is beautiful. Some may even say hauntingly gorgeous, or just downright haunted. Today, me and my fellow Coop Scoop reporter, Jules, will be taking you on a tour of UD's top most haunted spots. So, let's get into it. First up on our list, Memorial Hall, which is arguably one of the most well-known buildings on campus. As the center focal point of the green, Memorial Hall captures the classical architecture of UD. Constructed in 1924, it serves as a memorial to the men and women from Delaware who died serving in World War I. Unsurprisingly, with relics dedicated to the dead, it's bound to be a little haunted. Many have reported instances of paranormal activity, including feelings of being watched and cold patches out of nowhere. Whether it may just be the air conditioning, it's hard to deny that walking these halls is a little spooky. Let's head over to Jules for our next location.
Thanks so much, Casey. This is Juliana with the Coop Scoop, and we're here at Deer Park Hotel, which is now known as Deer Park Tavern. And some people think it's haunted by a couple spirits, perhaps Edgar Allan Poe. Let's check it out for more. Deer Park is loaded with history. It originally was a hotel called the St. Patrick's Inn, but was rebuilt in 1851 after it had supposedly burned down. The location even played a part in the Underground Railroad. There's a lot of speculation as to whether the building is haunted by its previous occupants, or it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. One of the most infamous stories claim that Edgar Allan Poe cursed the tavern. The tale goes that after writing Telltale Heart, while staying at the hotel, he fell in a mud puddle outside and cursed the building. A current employee at the tavern was eager to share his stories.
One time, I was working in the kitchen, and we had the speaker up on the microwave. We were cleaning out the steam table, flew off the microwave into the steam table. I wrote that one off like, hey, it vibrated off, it fell down there. Same thing happened, except instead of going into the steam table, it flew off the microwave and way too far to fall and into a trash can, so we determined that the ghosts do not like yellow card.
He claims that the most haunted space is the attic. Unfortunately, though, we were not able to gain access to the spot this time around, and maybe that was for the better. Legend has it, according to Cody, one of Deer Park's employees, the top floor defies gravity. As we followed Cody up the stairs to the second bar, in the corner there's a spot that looks patched and different from the rest. Supposedly, when you stand on the spot, you get wobbly knees and feelings of being unsteady. I even got the opportunity to stand on the spot.
No.
I didn't feel unsteady, but they do say that the paranormal activities usually only occur at night. Hey guys, and for our last and final stop today, I met up with Casey here. Casey, where are we?
We are here at the infamous Old College, which apparently has a pretty tragic backstory to it.
What happened?
Well, let's go find out.
It's said that Old College is haunted by the spirit of a past English student, John Roach. In 1858, an annual literary contest was held and there was a brewing feud between rival classes. A fight broke out the day before the contest. Young Roach was later found with his throat cut and bleeding to death at the main entrance doorway. While 3 suspects were investigated, no one was convicted.
About a year later, one of the former students believed to have been involved in the murder was working in a steam factory in Baltimore. An explosion caused a sharp piece of metal to fly across the workroom and cut the boy's throat, creating a wound eerily similar to the injury that had killed Roach. The building was renovated, and workers claimed that there was unexplained sounds, missing items, and shadowy figures. And that's all we have for today's tour. Reporting for the Coop Scoop, I'm Juliana Pereira.
And I'm Casey Nyman. Happy haunting.
Speaking of haunted places, we have expert Dr. Paul Brewer with us in the studio.
Yes, Dr. Brewer, thank you so much for being here and taking your time and coming here and talk to the viewers back at home. So let me start with the basic question. What made you get into this, I guess, paranormal topics? What gave you the interest?
So ever since I was a kid, been into scary stories, horror stories. I was a big fan of alleged local haunter Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
When I was a kid. I was also a big fan of Ghostbusters. Wanted to be a Ghostbuster, a paranormal investigator. When I did get older, found out there aren't actually that many career opportunities to be a Ghostbuster, so I became a professor instead.
Okay.
But then when I got tenure, like, hey, now I can start studying paranormal topics again, focusing this time on media messages about the paranormal and public belief in the paranormal.
Nice.
So, as the expert, we all gotta know, do you believe in ghosts, spirits, the paranormal? Is that something that you think is real at all, and do you think it's even on campus?
So as a person studying this area, as you might imagine, I get asked that question a lot. And the way I've always answered it is to say that I personally haven't seen any evidence that would lead me to believe in paranormal phenomena like ghosts. But lately, I've started to take a different view of it and started to wonder about, aren't there different kinds of belief, different forms of belief? So some people might say they believe because it's fun to believe. Some people might say they believe because they want to believe. Some people might say they believe because they think that they can go out and find scientific proof that some paranormal phenomenon exists. And those are all different kinds of belief, and maybe some people hold one sort, some people hold another, and that they're all worth thinking about and studying.
So going off from that question, I'm going to ask you something that I feel interests me and a lot of people back at home. UFOs, Area 51, all the stuff that the government hides. What are your thoughts about that?
All right, so in one sense, of course there are UFOs, because anytime you see an object in the sky and you don't know what it is, that is an unidentified flying object, or the popular term these days is UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena.
Didn't know that.
Now, what those are is a tougher question, and there's no strong scientific evidence of, for example, that UFOs are extraterrestrials visiting Earth. But this has gotten a lot of attention lately because there's been US Navy footage of reported UFOs or UAPs. The Pentagon recently released a report on the topic. NASA has convened a panel to look at it. I believe a UD professor is part of that panel. So it's definitely a topic that's gotten a lot of attention in the media, and even from government lately.
It's definitely got my attention, I'll tell you that.
It's got my attention too. That's what I'll be going home and reading tonight, watching a spooky movie, maybe an alien moment. But looking forward on your radar, Dr. Brewer, what are you currently researching and writing about?
Some graduate students at UD and I recently published a study looking at media messages about the paranormal, specifically UFOs and ghosts, on YouTube. So what kind of YouTube videos are there about paranormal topics? So now that we've done that, we've been looking at messages about paranormal topics on TikTok, which is of course a very popular platform these days. So the students in undergraduate class I teach, media message analysis, did a look at a few hundred videos about ghosts and cryptids and UFOs on TikTok. And so now we're writing up the results for that and going to present it at a conference and try to publish it.
That is so cool. That's right up my alley. Yeah, good for you guys. I can't wait to read all about that.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Brewer. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for taking your time again. So, the University of Delaware has over 150 bachelor programs, but even with so many options, classes can fill up very quickly. Spring enrollment is just 2 weeks away, and finding the right classes can be really tricky, especially for newer students. We sent one of our reporters to get the inside scoop on what classes you should or you shouldn't take.
What's going on, Coop Scoop? My name's Cam. Midterms are over. Spring enrollment is fastly approaching, and today we're going to be talking about which classes you should take and which classes you shouldn't take.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are hard, but I'd probably just say like the breadth requirements. So like not the engineering classes. Like I took BHON last year. That was pretty easy. I've taken like geology. It's pretty easy.
That's a good question. Definitely language and medicine.
Health topics with Professor John Groth. He's a really good guy, funny guy, and teaches you a lot about life in that class.
So I really liked general psychology. I'm currently in a counseling theories and techniques class that's super awesome, and I really like my domestic violence and prevention class.
Classes I recommend taking would be anatomy and physiology of speech with Professor Keeter, and then class I don't recommend taking would be criminal justice with Karen Parker, or any linguistics class with Yoon Ji Kim.
If you got to take like chem lab or something, like that sucks. That was a while ago though, but that's usually like a requirement. So
I hate math, but I know you have to take that. So if you could get around it or do a placement test, I would suggest that.
Oh, not recommend taking. French. Yeah, did not like French.
All right, guys, make sure to take advantage of those recommendations. My name's Cam, and back to you guys in the studio.
From the excitement centered around Halloween weekend and the dedication Blue Hens are pouring into their costumes to the whispers about the spooky places that make UD's campus, it's clear that UD brings Halloween vibes that are nothing short of perfect.
Yeah, exactly, and I personally cannot wait to see everyone's costumes as the weekend progresses.
Me too. Well, folks, that's all the updates that we have for this week on the Coop Scoop.
Tune in next episode for more news and updates on all things UD and Delaware related. And as always, have a safe, but most importantly, happy Halloween weekend. I'm Chris Granada.
And I'm Casey Nyman. See you next time.